Hi, I'm Lori Spielman, and I'm the first selectman for the town of Ellington. Welcome to our 94th show. I think that's incredible. And my guest today is Mr. Seth Baylor. He is the CEO of Oak Ridge. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow. Boy, it's nice to be here with such high.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So, with that, let me give you a few things that are going on in town. Channel 3 was at the Ellington High School on last Friday. They did a whole intro of Ellington High School and their football team. So they're going to different schools and everything else. So you could see some pictures. Our hometown, Caitlin Francis, was doing all the interviews and everything else. We're happy to see her back in town.
I graduated with her.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
And her mom was my teacher in 3rd grade.
Boy, you're really old.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's wonderful.
Great Day Game Day.
We have so many people here who have shown out at Ellington High School.
This is all I care about.
Bringing the pep rally excitement home.
I'm having such a hard time here.
Fridays on Great Day at 9
Friday nights start right here.
And of course, if you haven't been, please check out our Ellington Farmers Market. They have all different events on different weekends. There's always a different event going on. Last week it was salsa. Well, a lot of homemade salsas. Vegetables are coming in and all sorts of great things they have there. Also, the town of Ellington, we held an aware planning exercise that other towns communicated with the state in aware preparedness in case any disasters or anything else. We brought in our staff and had different examples come through, and we had to coordinate them with the state. So we have our CERT team and a lot of volunteers in town. Our headquarters is at the ambulance building, where everybody comes and gets ready. And if we have to open shelters, we open shelters and different things. So that was a great event. We got an award last week from Connecticut Police Academy, and that was held. We got accreditation for our police department. So that's great. We have a very small police department. So Seth, what is new in end of September?
Yeah. So we're coming into our busy season. Busy meaning harvest season, where we have about 1,500 acres of corn to chop. So that would be going through the fields, chopping the whole entire plant, grinding it up, putting it into a truck, bringing it back to the farm, where we weigh it and pile it and get all the oxygen out of it. And you see those big piles out on the big pad with tires on it. That's our corn silage, and it's corn silage season started yesterday. So that's always a fun time of year, but a lot going on. We usually bring around 1,200 to 1,500 loads in a 10-day window. So a lot going on there. We farm roughly 3,000 acres. We've grown our silage inventories. You can see big pads. So we're actually not chopping as much this year, and we're going to be combining about 500 acres of corn this year. And so you'll see some left in the field, and we'll combine that probably at the end of the year.
So when you combine it, so you're taking the kernels off of the ear,
Yep.
and you leave everything else in the field.
So chopping is taking the whole entire plant. So that has fiber, has nutrients, has your proteins, fats, protein and energy in the corn plant. When you're combining is just taking the corn seed, and that corn seed is then ground up and making it into corn meal. And so we have a nutritionist balance a diet, create a recipe in both our ingredients in the recipes for the cows to eat.
Wow, that's amazing. So now how about a new crop that people are seeing?
Yep. So we planted soybeans for the first time. We have a couple hundred acres of that. Again, same thing is we will go through with a combine. It's a different head, but head meaning the attachment on the front where it goes through the field and it takes off soybeans. So they're like little bean pods, and in there it will actually they'll dry down enough where it will break them out of the pod and you get the soybeans. And those are really high in protein. So we'll go through, we'll combine them, and then we'll get them sent out to get roasted. So they roast them and then grind them, and we take it back for feed for our cows. And it's really high in energy or protein, which makes the cows have more energy and produce more protein in the milk.
So whereabouts do you bring these to get roasted?
We work with
Starbucks?
Starbucks coffee roaster. No, we have a partnership with a farm on the Connecticut-New York line. So we actually have been buying some of these soybeans from him that he grew last year. And he has a roaster, so we send out a load and we'll get a load back.
Wow, that's great. So how late at night do you go chopping?
Depending on the year and depending on the weather, this spring, as you know, we got tons of rain. So that means it took us about 6 weeks to plant, and it should take about 2 to 3. So that 6 weeks spread out our planting, which means our fall is a bit more spread out than we like it. So this year we probably won't run as long of hours. I think the schedule is right now starting 5 or 6 a.m. and ending at 7. But that's always subject to change if weather's coming or if things start to dry down. So we have a tentative planned for that schedule, but that can get thrown out the window pretty quickly if we got a lot of rain coming or if it dries. So farmers are very dependable on the weather.
You know what people don't realize too is how much equipment costs. And a lot of times people will hear, oh, the farmer's getting another exempt or whatever. Well, go and buy a corn chopper. And how much is a corn chopper with no head?
So a corn chopper, we just purchased one. It was about $680,000 for the corn chopper. The head is another $200,000 to get a head on that. So you're close to $1 million. And
for something that you use how many weeks out of the year?
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Can you imagine buying a $1 million car and letting it sit in the garage and only be able to drive it 2 weeks out of the year?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's one piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the tractors, the plows, all sorts of stuff that you have to have. I mean, do you have a lot of money that's invested that sits?
Yeah, a lot.
And people don't see it, but you got to have this stuff.
Yeah, because when you make hay when the sun shines is the saying, and we're so dependable on the weather. So when you get that perfect window, you have to do as much as you can. The weather patterns have been difficult over the last few years, and so when you have that couple-day window to get something done, you have to go and have to put all the resources to it, because really we're going after the quality of the feed. So quality in equals quality out, and so that's why we do it in those certain windows. If we dragged it on and just did it as a task, we could get everything done but it wouldn't be that quality. So we have to do it fast in the right exact time, because then we're getting the right starch in the corn, we're getting the right nutrients in the corn. If it gets too dry, then it's not good for cows to eat, and if it's too wet, it will run and all the nutrients will run out of it. So there's a lot of
balancing
going on. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
and thankfully we have a great team that gets it done every day. So it takes a tribe of people to make it happen.
Boy, it's amazing how much goes into, and people don't see.
Yep.
They just get behind a tobacco wagon and go, oh my God, I got to get around this guy.
Yep.
Thankfully, we didn't have any accidents this year, but I watch people, they pass on the hills and everything else. It's just take 5 minutes and just relax.
Yep.
We have some pictures of tobacco in some of the new sheds that are around town, and also I think it was a great year.
I think from corn growing, and our crops have done really well. Even with the wet spring, it was a little bit hard to get things going. We were hoping to be done by beginning of June, and we were just getting started in June. So it was a little bit late, but all in all, it looks really good. And compared to other regions like Vermont, New York, they've really struggled with getting moisture, rain this summer. So we're a much farther ahead than other parts of the Northeast. So
Boy.
we're fortunate there.
So with all this that you put in trying to make the best milk, and that's what Modern Milkman uses,
Yeah.
is your milk.
Yeah.
Some people ask me about that.
Yeah. So I think exciting. We're closing in on 10% of our milk going through our own plant. Modern Milkman has been growing throughout the state. Modern Milkman put in another distribution center in Danbury, Connecticut. So we have trucks running out of Danbury and Ellington, and are building one out in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. So we'll soon have a distribution hub out of there. Modern Milkman has been growing. And then as the Oak Ridge brand and glass bottles, we've grown that as well. And we're in around 60 grocery stores now. So we've been growing that side of it as well, which is really exciting because we talk about all this work. The dairy industry is up and down. I don't want to sound like a poor farmer, but the milk price has not been great lately. So as we grow our brand and we can get a little bit more premium, if we can go direct to market, and people buying local milk is helping farmers stay alive, because it's a bit hard to be a producer in Connecticut at this moment. So.
And you went with the glass bottles like we used to years and years ago.
Yep.
Now, is it hard getting the bottles and keeping them clean? And
we have all the equipment. So supply chain on bottles, actually glass bottle returnable packaging is coming back, and which is a great thing, because there's so much plastic waste, and recycling is people haven't got that concept in their mind that recycling is doing better, but reusable packaging is a big thing that we thought of, and we want to be known as a premium milk, so that's why we went with the plastic, and we're always looking at new innovative packaging. We don't want to ever be known as the cheap plastic milk. We want to always have a premium brand, and we've been working on some new projects to try to get milk in different packaging. A lot going on.
how about water? Do you think you'll ever do water?
We've talked about it, but I think right now we got plenty of milk to bottle, and we do a good amount of juices too. So we do, in the summertime, we did lemonade, iced tea in glass bottles because we have some plant capacity. And right now we teamed up with Bishop's Orchard in Guilford, Connecticut, and we got cider. So we just started bottling cider this week, and
Wow.
most of that goes out to our Modern Milkman customers.
So with the Modern Milkman, you have a lot of different suppliers that are high end,
Yep.
like Anathusa or
Yeah, Arethusa is one, and I think Modern Milkman is like taking the farmers market to the doorstep. Really premium brands, smaller independent producers that like Luann's. Arethusa is a good one. We work with, between rounds and in taking those products and distributing them. It's been a great for. Oak Ridge, it's been really well because we can get our products out, but it's helped other businesses as well. And now Modern Milkman servicing over 10,000 customers and growing. I think there's 25 trucks on the road. We've teamed up with another Modern Milkman to really use the platform and the sales arm. So thankfully, I've stepped away from day to day and really helping on the bigger picture. And we have a leadership team that's running Modern Milkman now that I'm backed away from. So now I can focus more on Oak Ridge Dairy, and but still have a huge part of Modern Milkman. So
I think it's wonderful. And just to give you a little more update of what's going on in town. So right now I'm working on putting in a reading garden at the library. We've purchased with a grant, Sue, our head librarian, purchased a few tables and benches and things like that. So we've had them in storage for a little while, but now we're going to put like a concrete area down by the cemetery. Can you dig it?
Yeah, cool.
And making a nice reading garden for people to sit out and enjoy
Cool.
just being outside. And with that, with some more grant money, I am putting in the blue emergency call boxes in the parks. So, and also Arbor Park and like Tedford Park and Penny Street Field and things like that. So if there is an emergency, somebody's phone doesn't work or a young child, they can go and hit that and we can get help to them right away, which I think is important. So Ellington has a new business association, not association, but we're partnering up with the businesses in town, and we have a meeting every quarter at a different location. Somebody will host it, and it's really great to bring the businesses together, find out what they're interested in, what their needs are, questions, how we can help from the town side, and more networking too. So that's been going over really well. We have our scarecrow contest coming up. Is Oak Ridge gonna have a scarecrow?
I don't know. I haven't heard, but maybe.
Yep. You gotta have a scarecrow. So that's our big thing. And as far as the future, so you have the Modern Milkman that's going very well. You're shipping milk out. You're raising crops. You're doing all these things. One new thing this year is if I go to soft serve ice cream at Zen's or Cloder's, where's the ice cream come from?
At Cloder's, it comes from us.
Yeah.
Zen's.
I thought they.
No, Cloder's, it comes from us.
Okay.
So.
Weren't you doing a bunch of different?
Yeah, we do like Collins Creamery, Cloder's, and we do have several that we've been.
So what do you supply to them?
We supply them the ice cream base for their soft serve.
And you came up with a formula for that?
Yeah, yep.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing because people love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that's new this year, right?
Yep.
What else you got going on?
So we get the question about probably 3 to 4 times a week. Do you have a store? Do you have a store? Modern Milkman carries full line of products, but some people don't like home delivery or not open to home delivery. So we get the question, do you have a store? And so we've been working on, can we start something that's hopefully low maintenance that we can get our feet wet with a store. We're working on getting a 12 by 20 building that we can put a fridge in and be self-serve, open 24/7, and credit card, come in, pick out your stuff, self-serve, and pick up your milk and all the other products that we sell. So not the Modern Milkman products, all the Oak Ridge products, the juices, the milks, the protein milks, because we have a lot of different products. And on the retail side, some grocery stores only want the 4 or 5 best SKUs, where we have 20 SKUs that we have flavor of the month, and we're doing eggnog, and we're going to be doing the protein milk and the horchata and all that you can't really get at some of these grocery stores. So we're hoping to have a store in this fall sometime where it's a self-serve store that you can buy Oak Ridge milk. So I'm saying it officially. We haven't really announced it yet.
And you hear it here first. Wow, breaking news. That's great. So when I was really young, we used to go to Mosier's.
Yeah.
And they had something like it, but they had ice cream and things like that. But you went in the olden days and paid with money.
Yeah.
But that's
But yeah,
great.
we want to have it like it's a whole nother business side of it. But if we can really try to make it self-serve, where somebody runs out of milk at 9 o'clock at night, they can come in and grab a gallon and pay for it at their convenience. So want to make it convenient and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know some people in their families, you have one person that drinks milk like crazy.
Yeah.
And
the other thing, and we just launched this is, and I don't want to get into too much the technical side of how we did it, but we've tested our herd and made a group where it's all A2A2. So that's A2A2 protein. So all of our milk in our bottles is now all A2A2 protein, which is actually easier to digest. So we've been working on that for several years, but now all of our milk is now A2 protein only. The A2 protein is a protein that cows give off that is easier to digest over A1 protein. So people that say they have a sensitivity to dairy, a lot of them can actually drink this milk because of that. So
Wow.
just
That's huge.
yeah, huge.
But not people with celiac or
Celiac is gluten. It would be like lactose. So if someone has actual lactose intolerant, this is something that I've heard, so don't quote me on the facts, but 70% of people that say they're lactose intolerant is actually a sensitivity to the A1 protein. But we've been doing testing and have eliminated the A1 protein in the milk that we send to our milk plant. So now it's all A2. So people that have struggled with a sensitivity or a upset stomach in dairy can actually drink our milk and not have an issue.
wow, that's
But there is science behind it and a lot of information people can look up on that. So
boy, that's really great information and hopefully helpful to people
Yeah.
who love milk and just can't
yeah.
tolerate it. So after corn season, what happens?
So after corn season, meaning corn silage, and then we go into combining, and then we get all that, and then we might we'll probably spread some manure, which is cow manure, putting it back on the land, injecting it in, but we've actually been using a good amount throughout the summer on our growing crops. So manure is actually better to spread in the springtime. So we're gonna spread what we have to get us through the summertime or wintertime, so we can then put it on in the spring.
In the manure, there's no chemicals or anything. It's
No
basically a lot of water
Yep.
and just the digestive.
Yeah, it's nutrients. It's corn and hay that goes through a cow, and we pull out the solids. We pull out the fiber, so it's all it is nutrient water. So
Smelly water.
yeah, smelly water. But we have put a methane digester in, which is actually capturing all the gases off of the manure, so that turns it into renewable energy. So then what we're left with is just the liquid nutrients to grow our future crops. So
What do you do with the solids?
the solids are actually, we squeeze them so dry that we actually use them for recycled bedding. And yeah, it's a pretty cool process that we put them down as fresh bedding. It's like a sawdust. So the fibers are squeezed out and all the liquid goes with the nutrients, and we have a soft, dry bedding at the end.
Boy. And so how many cows are you milking?
We roughly have around 3,000 cows, and at any given time we're around 2,600 milking every day.
And how many veterinarians do you have?
Good question. Probably a lot of our guys have gone to either animal science or vet degree. I wouldn't even know how many are vets.
Somebody's there all the time.
Yeah, somebody's there all the time. Yep. 24-hour staff.
That's like a beautiful retirement home
Yeah.
for the cows.
Yep.
So people are like, oh, I used to see the cows out in the pasture. Well, I used to have to chase the cows in twice a day to milk them and everything else. And they were just eating nothing great, where yours are really focused on exactly what they need.
Yeah. I think cow care, years of research and development of, when you stop milking a good producing cow would probably produce 50, 60 pounds a day. And, that would be a good producing cow when you did everything with the tools that you had. But now, new technology, we're given, we're producing 100 pounds of milk a day because what we've learned in better cow care, better nutrition, better everything, the cows actually produce better. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know how you can keep track of everything.
Great team. Yeah, great group of people.
You must have a ton of people working for you.
we have like 60, 65, depending on the season.
Boy, that's a lot. And, you know, one thing I really want to say before we end, I want to thank you for everything you do in the town of Ellington. I mean, you have Touch a Tractor, you opened up for movie night. What else am I missing? You do some tours.
Story hours, yeah.
It's just wonderful of how you open up and try to educate, and the kids love it.
Yeah. You know, I think like goes back to like the transparency of like as we build out our milk and brand and build the following, like our goal is to produce safe and healthy food, and we want to have people to be able to trust what we do, and that's a big part of it. But also, I'll go back to say the town has been super supportive in everything that we do, and we're not perfect. We have plenty of flaws, but thankfully the town is super supportive and helps us along the way. So.
Well, you're putting so much energy and time and everything else that it shows.
Yeah, thanks.
And you know what's really nice? You go by, I know nobody's going to tell you this, but during the summer, no matter what time you went down Jobs Hill Road or whatever, everything is mowed nice. The flowers are out in nice containers. The whole farm is beautiful and nice and neat.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it shows that you're on top of things, working hard, and we're thrilled to have you.
Oh, thanks.
So, and everything that Baylor family and Oak Ridge does for the town of Ellington, it's just wonderful. Take part in the farmers market, you come to Nellie McKnight's, all sorts of different things, whatever you can do to help.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. And I want to thank you for being on our show.
Yeah, thanks.
Wait, what do you have that's new that's coming out?
We're actually working on a new packaging, and it's milk in an aluminum can. It's never been done before, and we're actually working on trying to be the first farm to ever have milk in an aluminum can, and we're actually putting in a canning line this fall to hopefully launch it next year, where it will be a 12-ounce single-serve can. We're trying to make milk cool again, and this would really be going for that flavored milk, good tasting, simple, clean ingredients that you can still indulge and have a good tasting product, but it's a better for you because it has all the 9 essential nutrients that milk has protein, and
Will
so
it taste different in a can?
No, we've done a lot of testing, and we've worked with developing that, and it's gonna taste the same great milk that we have, except in a really cool packaging. We've been working with a branding agency and have some really cool packaging coming.
That's very exciting. So you heard it here first on our Ellington show, and I want to thank everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out. I know you're very busy this time of year, but thank you all for watching, and don't forget our scarecrow contest. So hopefully we'll get a lot of scarecrows and people have a great time. Thank you.
Thanks.